Welcome to the channel and welcome to the show. Yes, I know I'm making some bold claims in this video. I'm claiming there is one rune that when understood, when implemented in your life, that it will fix every aspect of your life. Now that is a very bold claim. Long-time viewers of this channel know that I don't just do clickbait videos. When I say something seemingly outrageous like this, I back it up. So thank you for joining me, and I hope you'll watch this video to the end. And when you finish this video, you have a very good understanding of this one rune, and you will understand why that rune affects every aspect of your life. And when you implement it, your life will be significantly better in every aspect. Because it truly is the rune that can fix anything. Okay. So for those of you who new, welcome. We are talking about runes. We have an alphabet here in the Western world. That's this. But we used to have another alphabet. We have the younger Futhark and the elder Futhark. We're going to focus on the elder Futhark. This is an alphabet by our ancestors. And every letter on this, every rune here represents a frequency and a sound. But not only that, that frequency and that sound is kind of like a cosmic force, a building block of the universe. So it's out there in the universe, but it's also inside of the universe because we are part of the universe. And these had magical properties. So our ancestors believed that working with these runes could alter the fabric of reality. That was usually done by certain women within the tribe. The Saitkonas, the Trollridas, the Meerkridas, the Volvas. Or if you were a male, because there were male cider practitioners, it would be called a Trollrida. No, not a Trollrida, a Saidmader. A Trollrida is also another name of a different female cider practitioner. So that's what we're going to do here today. We're going to try and understand one of the 24 Elder Futhark runes. And by understanding it, learning to activate it so it can magically alter our lives. So the first part of this video is going to be explaining the rune. Second part is going to be a bit of DIY, do-it-yourself video. Only it's not a DIY video to make a coffee table. It's a DIY video to alter the very fabric of reality. Because for me, that's far more exciting than a coffee table. I hope you'll agree. Even though I'm drinking coffee and I could probably use a coffee table. But okay. The rune you've all been waiting for. It's actually two runes, but it's one rune. Let me explain. The rune we are talking about, Gebo. Now, a lot of people gloss over this rune. They say, Reni, it's just a gift. You know, it's the gift. No. It is the relationship rune. And why is that so important? You might think, well, relationships aren't really important to me. What's important to me is my magical practice, my spirituality. I really love my spirituality. Oh, do you? Do you love your spirituality, or do you love how you relate to your spirituality? Because if your spirituality becomes too big, it starts to take over other aspects of your life. It no longer becomes enjoyable. So everything you do, you have a relation to it. And if you understand how to relate properly to it, you can live in balance in a proper way. For instance, I did a lot of Lakota sweat lodges. Let me adjust the camera because the sun is almost coming in my face. Sit a bit over here. I did a lot of Lakota sweat lodges, and the Lakota people have one important prayer. That's Aho Mitakioyas. That means to all my relations. It's a very deep prayer. They said like it takes a lifetime to understand this one prayer. It's very essential. It's very deep. And I've been doing sweat lodges for about 20 years in this traditional manner. And I'm starting to understand. And even when I understand, I probably won't do a video about it because it will be too personal and too intimate. But their main prayer is to all my relationship, because that tribe, the Lakota Ayate, understood how important it is to properly relate to everything. Because you think your relationships is just, it's your spouse, it's your parents, it's your children, it's your uncle. No, it's everything. It's the ground you walk on. It's the trees, it's the air. It's the city. It's your country. It's your village. It's everything. It's aspects inside and out of yourself. Everything is a relation. Now, what brought me, by the way, by this rune is I'm having some trouble in my relationship. Nothing we can't work through, but trouble's part of life. And I didn't have the best of childhoods, so my relationship with my current girlfriend was rocky over the past few years. So instead of just working on it, we are working on it together. I thought, why not employ some rune magic? So that's why I really started digging into this rune. I started understanding it. Now, if you look, the symbolism of this rune can tell you everything you need to know. There are two lines, one line and the other line. What you see is they are both straight like an arrow. They don't bend. They don't do that at all. There's not one line and says, listen, I see that there's another line coming and I would really like to have a good interaction and partnership. Let me just bend a bit towards them. No, there's no compromises. One line represents one person, and that one person is true to its path in life 100%. No compromises, and it just keeps going. And the other one the same, no compromises. And even though they both have their unique path, there is a point where they interact. And that is where the gift is. That is what a true partnership is. Now, some runes you can read upside down, inside out, stuff like that. Not this one. This one is really balanced. You can put this one upside down, still the same rune. Inside out, still the same rune. No matter how you cut it, this is extremely balanced, as all good relationships should be. Now, there's another rune I think that relates to this somewhat, and that is the rune Nauthiz. Nauthiz! Here it is. It's also like partnership, but different. There's no balance there. Gebo is the relationship in balance, and Nauthiz is the relationship out of balance. There's no balance. It will, no matter how you put this on the ground, it will fall over. It will not work. It's a rune which represents limitations and frustrations, which are also a part of life, and they're also a part of the runes. Now, when you have problem in your relationships, which I believe we all have to a degree. I mean, we all experience things, sometimes with our parents, they do the best they can, but they make mistakes, and sometimes they damage us. That means that one aspect of our life is Nauthiz instead of Gebo. And they did a study, and I believe that's still an ongoing study by Harvard, and they said, like, what makes people happy? And they found out what makes people happy, and it's good relationships. So it's essential to get from Nauthiz to Gebo. How do you get from Nauthiz to Gebo? That's the big question. The thing is this. When there's disbalance in your relationship, and there's always somewhere, you can go sit on a mountain and meditate for a month. You could do that. You could do ayahuasca and find the answers. You could take so much LSD that you find the back door to heaven and you just walk in, see Jesus and God and all the angels. Have your pick. But it's not going to solve anything. Because the damages that were done to you while being in a relation to people, can only be fixed while being in relation to people. That's why it's so important. So I hope you understand that everything in your life is relationship. And it has to do with staying true to yourself and finding a balance in that relationship. Okay, second part of this video, how? Well, you could treat the rune as a sigil. And you need a charge for that sigil. Now what they used to do in the olden days is they chanted the rune. They chanted it. They called that galder. And by chanting it rhythmically, they changed the fabric of reality. You could also treat it as a magical seal, because they often drew this on the entrances of where they lived. So if you had to enter the farm or the house, you had to grab the door, and there was the rune Gebo. You put your hand on it, so you charge it. So they were magically making sure that everybody who came to their door related to them in the best way. You can do this not just on your house, but you can like make little stickers with an X. Then you chant it and you say that you understand the meaning, activate it, you sing to it, and you put it on the sole of your shoe. So every time you walk, you charge the sigil. And by doing so, you can set the intent that every relationship that has been affected by Nauthiz can become this perfect Gebo. You want to have an example of a perfect Gebo to start with? You and me. We. Perfect Gebo. Let me explain. You didn't click on this video just to do me a favor and give me one extra view. No, you clicked on this video because you thought a thumbnail and you thought, well, that sounds interesting. Let's check it out. You were true to yourself. And what I'm doing is I'm making a video, which I really love. I love doing this. So I'm being true to myself. And by being true to ourselves, we meet in this video, in this instant. No limitations, no complications. In this moment, I am sharing something and you receiving it, and there's a perfect Gebo. So start with this. I'm starting with this. And see if you can make every Nauthiz a Gebo. Because if there's Gebo everywhere, your life will be in balance. Now, for the people who are critical, no problem with that. You say like there are 24 runes and you're telling me this one rune can fix everything. Like why the hell are there 24 runes? Sounds like a bullshit story to me, Reini. Well, let me explain. Let me at least try to explain. If you may or may not know, all the Elder Futhark runes come from something called the Web of Weird. That's it, yeah. And the Web of Weird contains all the runes. You can see them all here. You can see Otala, you can see Kenas, and so forth. All the runes are in here. This is the web that is woven by the Norns. So, all the runes are here. Look how many times Gebo is in here. Now you could also argue that Isa and Kenas are a lot in here, but the fact that these partnerships are the way partnerships should be, and that's mean that every line is straight, nobody compromises too much, and everybody is true, that results in the fact that the web looks the way it looks. So I believe even it's the Gebo that gives the stability to the very web of life itself. So, how's about that? So, I will be implementing this, meaning I will be chanting and banging my staff and banging my drum and singing this rune. And I will do this until every Nauthiz in my life will become a Gebo. And I wish the same for you too. May all your Nauthizes turn Gebo. And I'll see you next week. Ga met de goden. Gebo, 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 hey.